Good morning, all. Last lesson we have seen different types of rocks. Can rocks be used like that? Definitely not. So, we need something else to use the rocks. That is processing. So, that processing is done in a place called an industry. So, in short, we define an industry which is converting the raw material into processed goods, and one more which is related to an economic activity, that means which brings in a lot of money, right? Example, sugarcane industry is converted, sugarcane is converted into sugar, petrochemicals, crude oil is converted into petrol. So these are examples of manufacturing industries. And even service providers, for example, tourism is an example of a service industry. So this industrial revolution started in Europe in the 18th century itself, right? Now, why do we need an industry at all? We need an industry because it is the basis of development, general development, economic development. We get in a lot of money, we get in a lot of foreign exchange. When we export our goods to other countries, we get in a lot of foreign exchange. For example, India exports sugar to other countries, India exports spices to other countries, then we get in a lot of money to our country. Growth of agriculture with different fertilizers, inputs of agriculture. So agriculture is improved. See, for example, today we see tractors and all. So that is from an industry. Tractors and all, we get it from an industry. Previously, old people, they used to do with bullocks and all. Now, are they doing with bullocks? Not at all. They are doing with very sophisticated tractors. Reduces unemployment. People are not depending upon anything manually. They are depending more on machines. So, an industry is definitely necessary to reduce unemployment. Reduces regional disparities. Disparity means differences between places. See, some places in India only, let us take. Some places are developed, some places are not developed. So, that kind of disparity will be gone if an industry is developed in that place. Take for example Assam. Assam, you do not have any kind of industry. So if an industry is placed in Assam, natural gas is there. Definitely you have lot of natural gas reserves are there, but industries are not there. So if we place industry in places like Assam, definitely it will increase the boost. It will boost that place. Foreign exchange we have seen. Standard of living also. Standard of living of the people will be improved. Why? Because people will be getting in a lot of money. So we need industry for this purpose. Now let us classify the industries on the basis of their size. We have three types of industries on the basis of size: cottage, small scale and large scale industries. Coming to cottage industries, these industries are very small industries, and generally the family members only, they take up these industries. Take for example agarbatti making or handloom industries. Here in Mangalgiri, if we see these industries, generally the people of the household only, they do they take up the industries. So examples of these cottage industries are ropes, baskets, handloom, and as I told, agarbatti, all papad making. If you know papad making, all these are examples of cottage industries. And normally the local raw material which is available only is used for this cottage industry. Next is small scale industry. In this small scale industry, little big machinery is used. Not very heavy machinery, but little big machinery is used. Transport also is done. So example of cottage industry, small scale industry: cloth, paper bags, toys, utensils, furniture making. All these are examples of small scale industry. But large scale industry, if you see, large scale industry, they use very heavy machinery. Raw material is also procured from different places. Raw material is also exported to different places. Iron and steel industries, cotton, textile industry, jute industry, all these are examples of large scale industry. And here investment of the industry also is very high. Capital which is used in the industry, money, is also very high. Okay, labor who are working in the industry, also very high. On the basis of raw materials procured, industries are divided into 5: agro-based industries, mineral-based industries, pastoral-based industries, marine-based industries, and forest-based industries. Agro-based industries means they derive their raw material from agriculture. For example, sugarcane. Sugarcane gets its raw material from agriculture. So, it is an agro-based industry. Next is mineral-based industry. Mineral-based industry, iron and steel is an example of a mineral-based industry. Iron is a mineral, cement is a mineral. So, these are examples of iron and steel industry. Pastoral-based industry, which are getting their raw material from dairy products. For example, leather or any dairy product for that case. Yogurt, curd, all these are examples of or milk. These are examples of pastoral based industries. Next is marine based industries, which are dependent on sea, right? Fishing industry is the best example of a marine based industry. Forest based industry, raw material is procured from the forest. See, here we have two raw materials which we get from the forest. One is minor products and one is major products. Minor products means honey, medicinal products. All these are considered as minor products. Major products means wood and all will be there. So these are considered as major products. So these are coming under forest based industries. Now, on the basis of ownership, that means who is the owner of the company, owner of the industry. On the basis of ownership, it is divided, industries are divided into 5: public sector, private sector, joint sector, cooperative sector, and multinational corporations. Public sector means it is owned by the public. Indian Oil Corporation is an example of a public sector industry. That means people also are owning the industry in form of shares. Private sector industry, only one individual owner will be there or number of owners will be there, but it's not owned by people. So private sector industries. Joint sector industry, owned by public sector and private sector. That means government will be owning, individuals will be owning. That is joint sector industry. Cooperative sector industry, a group of individuals will be owning the industry. A group of individuals will be owning the industry. Example can be banks. Some banks are cooperative sector industry. Multinational corporations, with respect to, in joint with other countries. That is an example of a multinational corporation. See, some software industries. That is an example of a multinational corporation. Maruti Suzuki is an example of a multinational corporation. Now, let us see what are the factors which are related to establishment of an industry. The first and foremost, then power supply. Apart from these, you should have large land to establish an industry. Labor should be available at cheaper rates. Then nearness to the market. After the production of the good, we have to go and sell to the nearby market. If we are going and selling it very far, then our production cost will increase. Take for example, if we are producing a bottle at 10 rupees, but there is no one to buy my bottle at 10 rupees here because everyone is having that bottle. I have to go and sell my bottle somewhere very far. So transport I have to pay it for. So my bottle cost will increase to 12 rupees. So there should be nearness to the market. Everyone should buy my product here only. Water. See, some industries like iron and steel industries, they need a lot of water for cooling agent. Like cooling agent. So jute industries even. So water should be readily available for an industry. Capital. First and foremost, this one also. See, we need a lot of money to establish an industry. Subsidies from banks. What all, how much I can reduce my capital or how much I can reduce. That is subsidy from the bank. Government policy. Okay, now all of you know Make in India. So government will be giving different kinds of subsidies, and government will be given like incentives for newly establishing industries. So that kind of government policies also should encourage the industry. So these are some factors which are related to establishment of a industry. Now let us see some important large scale industries in the world. Iron and steel industry, cotton textile industry, information technology, sugarcane industry and agro-based industry here, shipbuilding, fishing, marine industry, automobile. These are some of the industries now what we are going to see in this lesson. Now coming to the iron and steel industry, this industry is also known as a key industry or a primary industry or a basic industry, and civilization is said to have improved or developed from this iron and steel industry. Now let us see the different iron and steel industry in different continents. See, in USA we have the mid-Atlantic states which are very famous iron producing regions. Alabama, Pittsburgh, Lake Erie region. These are the very famous iron and steel producing regions in USA. And coming to Europe, UK, Germany, Sweden, France, Poland, Belgium. In Asia, we have three major regions. One is China, Japan, and even our country, India. In Africa, we have three major regions again: Algeria, Egypt, and Zimbabwe. In South America, four regions are very famous for production of iron and steel: Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, and Chile. In India, when we come to India, the Chota Nagpur Plateau region is very famous for production of iron and steel. So all these places, what we are mentioning, they have each one iron and steel project in their place. Jamshedpur, the Tata Iron and Steel Company; Bhilai Iron and Steel Company; Durgapur Iron and Steel; Rourkela Iron and Steel; Bokaro, Vishakhapatnam. Apart from these, we have iron and steel projects in Salem also. Kulti, Salem, all these places in India are very famous for production of iron and steel. And the next industry what we are going to see is the cotton textile industry. Cotton textile was basically made on handloom. After that, series of inventions like power loom was there, flying shuttle was there, so all these inventions, they took us to the cotton textile industry what we are in right now. The cotton textile industry takes in many techniques like spinning, weaving, dyeing, printing. So all these techniques are developed from the handloom. So some countries, what we are going to see here, these are very much famous for the cotton textile industry. The USA, China, India, Russia, UK, Japan, Brazil in South America, Italy in Europe. So these are some of the countries which are very famous for cotton textile industry. In India, the places which are very famous for cotton textile industry: Maharashtra, which is also known as the Cottonopolis of India; West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and Uttar Pradesh. In India, The first cotton textile industry was set up in the year 1854 in Mumbai. And now we move on to the next contemporary industry, that is the information technology. So this information technology uses the information given and the use of computers to use the data and process the data, protect the data, secure the data, store the data, receive and retrieve back the data and use it to our next uses. So this is the very important industry nowadays. So in the USA, Santa Clara County, which is also known as the Silicon Valley, this is very famous for information technology industry. Next, South Korea, Japan, China, all these are famous for the information technology industry. In India, Bengaluru is also known as the Silicon Valley of India. Other famous places which are very famous for the information technology industry in India: Hyderabad, Pune, Gurugram, Noida. These are some of the places which are famous. Kolkata even. These are some of the places which are very famous for the information technology industry. Now the next industry what we are going to talk about is the sugar industry, an agro-based industry which grows well in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. So this sugar industry gets its raw material from two basic things. One is the sugar cane and second one is the sugar beet. Sugar beet is just like a vegetable and sugar cane as well. What we know is the sugar cane. So from sugar cane, Cuba, Brazil, India, Indonesia and Kenya. So these are the 5 countries generally which produce sugar from sugar canes. Whereas from sugar beet, Russia, France, the USA, Germany and China, these are the 5 major countries which produce sugar from sugar beet. Right? In India, we have 5 states which are producing, and India is one of the major contributors or exporters of sugar cane. In India, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, these are some of the major contributors or growers, producers of sugar cane. And the next important industry what we are going to see is the shipbuilding industry. So here in the shipbuilding industry, how the cruise liners are formed and how the ships are constructed. So that forms the major part of the shipbuilding industry. Number of ships when they are coming to one place, that is known as a shipyard. So this shipbuilding industry also is very important because it provides employment to number of people. Here across the world, China, Japan, South Korea, Germany, France, the USA, Sweden, Netherlands, Ukraine, Brazil, of course India. These are the places where we have the major shipbuilding industries in the world. So shipbuilding, as we know, this is a marine based industry. So here in India, we have 4 major places of shipbuilding, all coastal areas only: Visakhapatnam, Mumbai, Kochi and Kolkata. So the major reason for the shipbuilding industry are 2. One is development of iron and steel industry, and second one is availability of skilled laborers, which these are 2 factors which have increased the shipbuilding industry or have given for the growth of the shipbuilding industry across the world. And next, coming to the fishing industry, marine industry, the fishing industry. So this industry is divided into 2 types of industry. One is the marine industry and second one is the inland industry. Marine industry means across the international borders, and inland industry means inside the country. So if we are catching the fish and selling here, that is known as an inland industry. But if you are exporting the fish to other countries, then that is known as marine industry. So here the fishing industry is basically divided into 4. The Northwest Atlantic and Northeast Atlantic, Northwest Pacific and Northeast Pacific. So here Northwest Atlantic is found in the Newfoundland in the USA to New England in the USA, So here the major fishing grounds which are present here, Grand Banks, the St. Pierre Bank, the Sable Bank and the Georges Bank. 4 major banks which are present here, and you have 3 types of fish which are present here, the cod, herring and the mackerel. Even in the Northeast Atlantic, the same 3 kinds of fish are found here, cod, herring and mackerel. And this Northeast Atlantic, it extends from Iceland in the UK to the Mediterranean Sea near Africa. So the Dogger Bank, the Great Fisher Bank, these are the 2 major fishing grounds in the Northeast Atlantic. And here the other countries which are covered in the Northeast Atlantic branch are Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Spain. Right? And coming to the Northeast Pacific branch, which is extending from Bering Sea in between Alaska and Asia, Bering Sea to East China Sea. So from north to deep south, Japan, China, North Korea, South Korea and Russia. Here the 3 major fish which are found here are, along with salmon and mackerel, tuna fish also is found in the Northeast Pacific grounds. Coming to Northwest, Alaska and California. These are the 2 major countries which are covered in the Northwest Pacific region. So herring also is one fish which is covered in the Northwest Pacific region. And coming to India, the major banks which are present in India are Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Assam and Himachal Pradesh. So here we have more marine lands, and of course inland fishing is taking place in almost all the states, all the coastal states, whether it is Andhra or Tamil Nadu or any other. Kerala is more popular. So inland fishing is done in almost all the states. And the next industry what we are going to see is the automobile industry, which is basically into development, designing, development, selling, marketing of the automobiles. So here these automobiles what we are seeing, the daily trucks, buses, cars, all these come under the automobile sector. The countries which are very much into the automobile industry, the first place goes to the USA. Apart from the USA, Japan, Germany, France and South Korea, these are the places which take the next place. In India, automobiles are processed or automobiles are done in places like Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat and also West Bengal. So these are the places of manufacture of automobiles in India. Now coming to the last topic, industrial pollution. Though industries are very important, they're causing a lot of pollution. See, some of the highly polluting industries, if we see, cement is there, or sugar. Sugar always, it needs a lot of fertilizers and always it gives out a lot of pollution. Iron and steel, though it is a basic and primary industry, it gives out a lot of pollution. So industries are though important, they give out a lot of pollution. So causes of industrial pollution, when we see the coal, which is a very important ingredient in industry, when it burns, it gives out a lot of pollution. Noise pollution, air pollution. So they cause a lot of pollution. All the harmful chemicals, when they are burnt, they give out a lot of pollution. And the dumping of toxic materials. See, once you finish the processing of a product, everything which is harmful or toxic, poisonous is left off, is dumped just like that into the dump yard. So that gives out so many poisonous gases out. just like methane, all this carbon monoxide, all these greenhouse gases are coming out because of that dumping of toxins. Next, dumping of industrial waste, the same thing. All the water, dirty water from the industries, they'll come out and it will cause a lot of pollution. We see many people dying because of this industrial pollutants. Noise pollution, see sound and all. Sound, because of sound, they lose their eardrums. So these are some of the causes. See, even fly ashes from bricks which come out, they cause nasal infections, they cause lung infections and all. So some of the main causes are these. How to prevent that industrial pollution then? We have to give these effluents, all these are known as effluents. So proper treatment of effluents should be given. See, for example, burning of coal is there. So how to treat? Industrial treatments will be there. Solid waste, how it should be treated. Liquid waste, how it should be treated. Gaseous waste, how it should be treated. So there are different ways to treat waste. And next one is very important one, what we are not doing nowadays and what we have to do, every individual has a responsibility to do, is that planting of trees, right? So that is very much important because trees take in bad gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Trees take in those gases and give us oxygen for us to breathe. Strict actions by government should be taken because people will not listen if government is not taking any strict kind of action. So these are some kind of preventions what we can do as a responsible citizen of India, right? So hope the lesson is understood. Thank you.